But out of the martial arts movies and comic book movies around, I want to go to video games, and I want to have a conversation about immersive sims, the genre of video games that I didn't know I loved. Do you know what an immersive sim is?
Um, Probably an immersive simulation is what I'm thinking. That's what's coming to
I
mind.
mean, yeah, that's what it stands for, but like, do you know like what that genre is?
No, because I think of immersive sims and I think of like flight sims and stuff, and I think of like sims as how I think you're thinking about, and I think of these sims, and
Yeah.
I'm like,
So
I don't
here's
get
the
it.
thing. I wasn't sure if you would know what it is. I'm glad that you don't, because it turns out both me and you love this genre of video game, and we never knew.
Okay.
It's crazy how you can love a genre but not know that you love it.
Yeah.
An immersive sim, by definition, is a game that allows for multiple approaches. And this is a straight up Google copy paste definition, but I'm going to get more in detail later on. But by definition, is a game that allows for multiple approaches and typically incorporate elements of multiple genres. So it could be an RPG, a stealth, a first-person shooter, or a platform or survival horror.
Oh, I love those.
But if it still has that the idea of allowing for multiple approaches, then it's an immersive sim. So
I
for
definitely
example,
like those.
so for example, well, before we get that, when it comes to sims, like you said simulation, but it actually stands for. I mean, you're right. It does stand for simulation, but I got my words confused because it's another word that starts with S that I'm about to mention, but it is not simulation. But basically, it takes advantage of the use of systems, which systems in games are basically how everything works. Systems are built with the intention of interacting with each other all the time. Like I said in the stealth game, if you're seen by an enemy and they run the sound alarm, and the alarm sounds off, and then a bunch of enemies come to rush you. Or in Breath of the Wild, a system is like the fire system. Anything that's wood, you can set on fire, and you can set grass on fire too. But anything that's wood, no matter what it is, you can set it on fire. When it's raining, rocks get slippery. It's hard to climb. You have metal stuff on. You get struck by lightning. That type of stuff. Those are systems, and the way they all interact with each other in unique ways. Like I said, grass is flammable. So when lightning strikes grass, it gets set on fire. And essentially, that's how immersive sims work. It's a bunch of systems that interact with each other in unique ways, so that you can figure out how to approach any situation. And essentially, it was started by a studio called Looking Glass, who created 3 games that basically defined the genre and were inspired a bunch of games afterwards. Which eventually I'm going to get to one game that is pretty much the game that is the reason why I say we both love this genre without knowing. Which there are several actual, but there's one in particular that we both love.
I'm already knowing what it is.
Yeah,
I'm
I
pretty
think
sure.
you know what it is, but don't say it. We're gonna get there. So the 3 games that Looking Glass made are Ultima Underworld, Stygian Abyss, System Shock, and Thief. Thief, I know, is already cluing you in, but shh, don't say it. So basically, in '92, they made Ultima Underworld, which actually directly inspired the creation of the Elder Scrolls series. But it wasn't until the 4th
I
game.
did read that.
Yeah, it wasn't until the 4th game in the series that it actually became an immersive sim. But the actual creation of the series was inspired by Ultima Underworld. The second game is System Shock, was basically they bring a sci-fi approach to the genre by bringing it to space and making some of the enemies robots. And the last one is Thief, which is the one that I feel like heavily inspires the type of immersive sim games that I like, which is basically using advanced AI and open plan designs to basically, this was one of the first proper stealth games. Like this was made before stealth games were popular.
A thing.
And
Yeah.
not even before they were popular, like you said, before they were even a thing. This is one of the very first. So basically, examples of modern immersive sims that they spawned were the combination of System Shock's gunplay and Thief stealth. Basically spawned Deus Ex, probably one of the most popular immersive sims.
I keep forgetting Deus Ex exists. I'm not even gonna lie.
The director of System Shock 2 went to create BioShock, one of the most popular immersive sims ever.
I love Bioshock.
And our favorite so the lead designer of Deus Ex went on to create Dishonored. And Dishonored is an immersive sim. And I realize whenever we talk about video games and I describe what my favorite thing about a video game is, it's
always immersive sim.
All of the things that make an immersive sim an immersive sim. And there are two stealth games that both me and you love. One of them I like more than you, one you like more than me, which are Hitman and Metal Gear Solid, which both take a lot of cues from immersive sims. And by the way, Hitman is just straight up an immersive sim.
Hitman is it has a bit of everything.
Metal Gear, especially Metal Gear Solid 5, has tons of immersive sim elements in the sense that you get to choose how you tackle a situation. And the director of Deus Ex, I'm mad I didn't write his name. I'll look it up in a second. His name is Warren Spector.
That's a badass name.
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that because
that is the coolest name ever.
Yeah. So I was watching a video. Who I watch, he makes tons of videos about the way games are made. The channel is called Game Maker's Toolkit, and
I'm subscribed to his channel. Yo, that's wild.
His name is Mark Brown. He made a video about immersive sims, and I was already looking up stuff about immersive sims. And whenever I look up something related to video games, the first place I go is to his channel. I type in the Game Maker's Toolkit and then whatever I'm looking for. And I found the immersive sim video. I watched it, and a person he quoted a lot because this person basically is basically the best at it when it comes to making immersive sims. This is the dude that made Dishonored. He and Deus Ex. He basically was saying that they were designed to be about player expression, to basically give you power, to give you I can't even think of the word. I wrote it in here somewhere. Agency, to allow you to basically just figure things out on your own and deal with the consequences of the choices that you make. And that was his whole thing. He wanted to make games that allows players to basically do whatever they want and mold their own stories, make their own choices. It's something that can even be seen in Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk, in a lot of ways, is also.
Oh yeah, Cyberpunk is most definitely an immersive sim. That's kind of
it has tons of different elements. It's a good example of it can, like we said, it can exist in any genre of game, like an RPG. You can have immersive sim elements in an RPG. Same with Elder Scrolls.
As a matter of fact, most good RPGs, I think all my favorite RPGs would count as immersive sims.
Yeah.
So,
and I don't know, it blew my mind when I was watching this video. It started when I was watching this video about the history of the video game Thief, which is which has the biggest impact on the way Dishonored plays. Dishonored is very much Thief, but with superpowers. That's essentially
it's basically Thief's spiritual successor.
Yeah, what Dishonored is. And I didn't realize how much this genre, which when I first saw it, because I'm not the biggest fan of Deus Ex, when I saw it, I was like, I thought it wasn't a genre that was for me until I realized I've been playing immersive sims my whole life and I didn't know it. And I love this genre. And the idea of systemic gameplay goes further than immersive sims. It even goes into games, like I said, Breath of the Wild, which is a game that me and you both talked about, it might be the greatest open world game ever made. Because it takes advantage of systems and how they work together, allowing you to figure out how they work with other things and create unique interactions that not even the developers thought of. Sometimes in immersive sims, you can come up with situations that didn't even cross the developers' minds, which is insane. I just want to mention right now, I don't want this podcast to go for too long. I'm kind of happy that I didn't have that much because I'm only going to have the data edited, and I don't want to edit a nearly 2-hour long podcast. We're close to the hour mark.
Okay.
We're probably going to go for another 15 minutes, and then we'll be done. But I'm going to cut that all out, everything. That's the conversation. But yeah, immersive sims are, I feel like my description of what an immersive sim is was a bit sloppy, but I hope people watching this, and even you, understood what I meant. Because I feel like...
I totally get it.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't explain it very well, but if you want a more comprehensive explanation, go look up Game Maker's Toolkit Immersive Sims. You'll find it's short, it's like 13 minutes or something like that video about, it might not even be that long, it might be like 9 minutes of him explaining a short little history, and then goes into the different types of immersive sims that we have today. And he describes exactly what makes an immersive sim an immersive sim. But yeah, like I said, it blew my mind. I wasn't aware that I was into this, that I was in immersive sim so much. And now I'm just like, I want more of it. And he made another video, I don't know if I watched it, about systems. And I don't think I did watch it. And I was just talking about how systems interacted with each other are what make Breath of the Wild so good. And he was talking about how most immersive sims don't become that popular. Like, as much as me and you love Dishonored, it doesn't sell very well.
Which sucks.
Which sucks really bad. Immersive sims in general don't sell very well. It's a very niche genre. But when you take certain elements from those immersive sims and put them into, let's say, Hitman or Metal Gear or Breath of the Wild, then that's when they start to really sell. And that's what I want to see. If it can't work in that specific genre, even though, of course, I want them to continue making Dishonored, and I think they will.
They better.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be mad if they don't.
But even then, I want this idea of system and gameplay to go further beyond, to keep, for games like Cyberpunk
Plus Ultra,
to keep being made. But yeah,